If you're in project management, you know the feeling, right? You're drowning in what people call work about work. It's that endless tide of emails, reports, and updates that just pulls you away from the actual project. Well, today, we're going to cut through all the hype and give you a really practical guide on how these new AI agents can finally tame that administrative chaos. Let's break down how this new class of AI is ready to become your most valuable teammate.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll really nail down the core problem of administrative debt. Then, we're going to explore this huge shift from AI assistants to AI agents. After that, we'll meet the three big players in the game, learn the secret framework that makes them all work together, and see the real-world payoff. And we'll wrap it all up with a simple 5-step roadmap you can start using, well, today.
All right, let's dive right in with the problem that keeps so many project managers up at night. I'm talking about this ever-growing mountain of administrative debt. This quote from our source material just nails it, doesn't it? It's not about just being busy. No. This is a real conflict between your two most important jobs, delivering the project on time and on budget, versus managing all the communication and paperwork that comes with it. Basically, that work about work is constantly stealing your focus and energy from the real prize, project delivery. And this right here, this is what that chaos actually looks like in practice. You're trying to piece together a clear picture from all these fragmented email chains, progress logs that, let's be honest, everyone fills out differently, those scribbled notes from a site visit, and of course, massive technical documents. It forces you into this reactive mode, where you're always trying to make sense of the past instead of proactively building the future. So what's the answer? Well, it's not just another app you have to check every 5 minutes. It's a complete evolution in how we think about and use AI. We're talking about a fundamental shift in its role, moving from simple assistance to active, what we call agency. Let me show you what that really means. Okay, this slide is really the heart of the matter. Assistance is what we're all used to, right? Think of an AI that suggests how to finish your sentence or summarizes a document you give it. It's helpful, for sure, but it's totally passive. Agency, that is a whole different ballgame. This is an AI that actively participates. It doesn't just summarize. It can run a whole series of steps, jumping between different programs to get a job done all by itself. So who are these new agents? I want you to think of them less like tools and more like new teammates. We're going to meet the three major platforms, Microsoft Copilot, Google Gemini, and ChatGPT Enterprise. And you'll see each one has its own unique personality and its own set of strengths. First up is Microsoft Copilot. The best way to think of this one is as the ultimate digital employee. It's built on a safety-first architecture, which means it lives securely right inside your company's existing Microsoft world. It sees what you see, it respects all your data permissions, and it works deeply within the tools you're already using every single day. But, and this is a really crucial distinction, there are two very different forms of Copilot. The standard one that comes with Microsoft 365, it's a fantastic reactive assistant. It waits for you to tell it what to do. But Copilot Studio, that's where true agency comes to life. It lets you build proactive agents that can run complex workflows completely on their own.
And this table just lays it out perfectly. I mean, look at the autonomy row. Standard Copilot is reactive, but a Studio agent is proactive and event-driven. What does that mean? It means it can be triggered by something happening, like a new invoice landing in an email. And check out the data scope. Copilot Studio can actually connect to your external business systems, your ERP, your CRM. It's not just summarizing your Word docs anymore. It's talking to SAP or Salesforce to automate a real business process.
Okay, next up on the team is Google Gemini. Now, if Copilot is your digital employee, I want you to think of Gemini as your hyper-intelligent corporate librarian. Its superpower is being able to synthesize just vast, massive amounts of information with a nearly perfect memory. And here's why. A 2 million token context window. I know. What on earth does that even mean? Well, it means you could feed Gemini an entire project archive. I'm talking technical manuals, years of emails, even hours of video meetings, and then ask it really complex questions about the entire collection in a single go. It's an absolutely incredible tool for deep research and analysis. And finally, we have ChatGPT Enterprise. This is the independent brain on your team. It's platform agnostic, which just means it's incredibly flexible. Think of it as the sandbox where your developers and innovators can go to build something totally new, free from the constraints of any single ecosystem.
So you've got these incredibly powerful tools, but how do you make them all work consistently? How do you avoid getting locked into just one company? The secret is a portable framework that acts like a universal translator for AI.
The key is what's called structured prompting, and a perfect example is the COSCR framework. Think of this as your recipe for getting professional results every single time. You give the AI the context of the project, the objective of the task, the style and tone you need, you tell it who the audience is, and finally, you specify exactly what you expect in the response. By following this simple structure, you take all the guesswork out of it and make sure the AI knows exactly what you need, no matter which platform you're on. Now, even with a great prompt, AI can struggle with messy, unstructured data, like this totally typical field note. You know you've seen something like this. There's a lot of important info in there, but it's just not in a format a computer can easily understand or, more importantly, act on. And that's where the second part of our framework comes in, data normalization. And look at that difference. By teaching the AI to normalize that messy input into a structured format like this, we turn that note into a reliable, machine-readable command. Every piece of information gets its own field. Now this output can automatically create a ticket in Jira, schedule an event in Outlook, or assign a task in Microsoft Planner. This is the engine of true automation.
So we've got the theory, we've got the framework, but what's the actual bottom line payoff? Let's look at the tangible, measurable return on investment when these tools are really put to work out in the field.
Let's just start with a number that really speaks for itself. 4 times faster meeting recaps. I mean, just stop and think about the hours your team spends just transcribing notes and pulling out action items. This one thing alone is a massive, massive time saver.
And the impact just goes deeper from there. The data shows a 29% jump in how fast daily tasks get done, all thanks to automated status reports. A staggering 95% reduction in document formatting delays, and saving 3 to 4 hours for every single field report. The point here is that these are not small, marginal gains. These are truly transformative efficiencies across the entire project lifecycle.
Let's make this even more real. In the telecom world, AI agents are predicting risks for 5G rollouts by analyzing everything from weather patterns to permit delays in real time. And in construction, you've got managers using voice-to-text on their phones to create and send a polished daily report before they even get back into their truck. This isn't science fiction, this is happening right now.
Okay, so you've seen the problem, you've seen the tools, and you've seen the payoff. Now let's put it all together. Here is a clear 5-step roadmap to take you from plan to profit. First, identify those repetitive, time-sucking tasks you do every week. Think about compiling status reports. Second, measure how long it takes you now. You need that baseline so you can prove the savings later. Third, pick the right AI tool for that specific job. Fourth, and this is so critical, design a workflow where a human always reviews the AI's output before it's finalized. And finally, number 5, iterate. Get feedback, tweak your prompts, and keep refining the process. The key is to start small, get a quick win, and then build from there.
You know, we've covered a lot of ground, but it really all comes down to this one simple, powerful idea. AI agents are here to take on the work about work, which frees you up to do the work that actually matters. So that leaves us with just one question. Your new AI agent is ready to go. What is the very first repetitive task you're going to teach it?